and may be monitored and recorded.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, Habib?
Alhamdulillah, Habibi. It's good to hear you, man.
Yeah, man. We keep missing each other. Yeah. Yeah, so
how's your week been?
It's just been busy, man. Like we actually started a new program where we're teaching the formerly incarcerated how to use the computer. So
wow.
We're on the last week of our first cohort. And we're gonna about 20 people so far, and it's really good, man. It's really good. We're moving into the second one. We're gonna be doing it until the end of January. So
alhamdulillah, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's it.
How about you? How's everything been going?
Good, man. Fighting to get out of here still, but other than that, I'm studying Quran, so I'm really digging into that. I'm studying my fiqh, making sure I keep that balanced out, and just taking it day by day, man. It's not an easy thing, but I love it. So, everybody don't get a chance to do things like that. So I'm thankful for the opportunity, man, for real.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints. Yeah. MashaAllah, man.
Yeah, man.
It's like, to me, it's like getting drafted to the NFL,
Yeah. That's
everybody ain't able,
Yeah. But
walking is good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. While I have you, I got it. I wanted to do this so we have enough time. One of the brothers is writing like an article or newsletter about what's going on in the prisons and how the safety is. So he just wanted to know, we received a couple letters of students describing situations where they feel like nobody's safe, where you have to belong to a gang in order to survive, or where even the guards are afraid to interfere with different instances that's going on in jail. So he just wanted to kind of know your take on that, and how it is in your prison.
Well, this prison is not so bad, but there's except in one housing unit. There's one housing unit here that's just it's horrible. And as a matter of fact, just like the brother was saying, the guards don't even like working there. And the ones that do work there, they I don't know, I would say they develop a coarseness about themselves because they feel like everybody is the way that these people are in this particular house. But they've had and I think 4 OD deaths this month. And they just had a couple more ODs in the last week over the entire camp. There was a fight. I think maybe 2 or 3 fights yesterday that were let me say this, that were caught. Because I'm just assuming that that's going on and nobody's just addressing it. But in that house, but as Muslims, you're always going to find some people. Sometimes you're going to find people that come to Islam because they feel like it's a place of protection for them and things like that. And you have to delineate to guys like, listen, this Islam is not, this is not like your favorite. This is not for us to be just like paying off your dope debts or things like that. So, in prison, it's always going to be, to me, always going to be an environment like that. There's nothing that can be done like it because you're going to always find people, and specifically in this environment, that's going to be preying on weaker people. Excuse me. It's just kind of like the nature of the situation there.
Right. Yeah. And so you say it's, you have one particular housing unit that's kind of bad there. How about some of the brothers? Are they like, do they mix? Like, do they ever try to mix like Islam with the gangs, or
we've had that. We've had that before. We've had brothers that, thought that they could like be like you say, a GD and still be a Muslim. And, you just have to let them know, hey, that's a no-go, man. You cannot serve two gods. And one brother was talking about, the GDs, they have like little code books and all this other stuff. And the brother said, well, according to our bylaws, some nonsense like that, we have freedom of religion. Like, yeah, that's we're looking at that from a whole, the opposite, perspective. In Islam, we don't have any of that. So as a Muslim, like that's not something you need to be worried about. You shouldn't be thinking about it's okay in your game to be a Muslim. No, you're in Islam for Allah. So yeah, well, we've had that problem. And then there are some brothers that come into it with the intention to break away from the
correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
With the intention to break away from the gang, and then you have Muslims kind of forcing them to hurry up and, shake it off. But it's, as a former gang member myself, I know that it's not that easy. And you have to talk to brothers and say like, hey man, back up off of him. He's going to stop wearing red when he gets a chance. He'll sell all his blue clothes when he, when he gets into the deen more. You just have to allow brothers that room and that opportunity to grow in their deen.
Right.
But,
so have you heard of any prisons or anything like that have like similar stories or that have an issue with that, where it's kind of dangerous or, or any stories or anything like that you may want to share with anyone? Or, just explain, how do you deal with that? How do you keep it balanced, and keep it balanced and from becoming, very dangerous for, for the community or the brothers inside? How do you guys deal with those situations? To deal with it, you have to constantly be on the lookout. We always have brothers that most of us came out of something crazy, right? Gangs or, the street life and things like that. So a lot of us still have connections to it in the sense that people still know us from our past life, so to speak. And they have respect for us from that. So it allows us to always have our ear to the ground, so to speak. And so when certain situations arise, certain brothers in the community have to come together and say like how are we going to handle the situation? And we have to lean on whatever knowledge we have, whatever connections we have, whatever networking we have going on in prison to help try to alleviate situations. Because it's always going to be something there, man. And it's real rough sometimes because you see a brother that's interested in Islam. He wants to come to Islam, but it's like at the same time, it's like you almost, you have to evaluate. Like, man, it's, like not that you can judge what's in his heart, but like, man, is he doing it because he has all his debt? Because you find out once he takes the shahada, he has all his debt, and it's going to be a fight. And, somebody has to pay off his debt. So it's constant maneuvering and, dealing with prison issues just for somebody to say, la ilaha illallah, and be safe afterwards because it is still in prison. And, there have been times, man, where things get so out of hand, there's nothing you can do other than, just, protect the brother after the fact. Something happened and, we hear about it after it happened, or we had this going on and this is going on. So for us, it's a constant thing. You have to constantly know what's going on and keep yourself involved and, try to maintain your deen because, like the danger of all of this is that, like I said, most of us came out of a background of gangs and things like that is having that surviving mentality from that lifestyle and it becomes like the status quo and you kind of mix deen with this lifestyle now, while you were trying to pull away from it. So sometimes we have to pull out of positions that still delve into that world, so to speak, because we don't want them getting too involved in,
all the other stuff because they can slip back into gang banging or things like that. It's, like I said, it's just a constant monitoring, man, and a juggling, because you're trying to protect people's being. You're not, it's one thing that just, somebody owes some money and everybody gets together and put some money together for them. But when you're talking about somebody's akhirah, then you just have to put some things aside and, and let things fall wherever they may. It's rough though sometimes.
Yeah. SubhanAllah, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's got to be difficult trying to maintain all that. And what do the guards do? Are the guards ever involved, or do they kind of shy away from it, or how do they manage? Like if there is an issue, do they interfere, or do they just kind of let things be the way they are, or what role do they play? Is there any actual protection that ever comes from the guards or anything like that?
It varies. It varies. Sometimes they get involved. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like you have a sergeant maybe he's assigned to the housing unit. Always to work by it always is and stuff like that. And he wants to keep peace and he'll involve himself. Then you have some of them just hands off. If something happens, you just lock everybody up. Involved or not, you just get locked up. I mean, so it varies from person to person. It's just, again, one of those variables that you have to take into consideration, man. And it just sucks for real half the time because you want to do the right thing, man. But it's really it's not hard to do the right thing. It's just hard to maintain all of that without somebody not getting hurt as far as their feelings, sometimes physically, because I mean, we can't put everybody in jeopardy because this one brother has a debt or something like that. And, we can't put other people in jeopardy because this thing that happened before his Islam or however the situation is. You just constantly, man, like I said, just looking at variables and like, what can we do? What needs to be done? And as an inmate, like, where do I stop trying to be involved? Because now I'm putting myself in jeopardy, and I have a family and people that worried about what's going on with me all the time. So, yeah, it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, mashallah, man. It's glad. I mean, so are you involved? Are you like, what kind of position do you have? I guess in where you're located at. Are you the one kind of maneuvering and kind of helping brothers in these situations, or do you have a team of brothers that kind of work things out, or what's the I guess like chain of command you would say, or something similar? How's that work?
Yeah, I stay away from any titles because but what I brothers know me because I've been around for a while, but like they wanted me to be the imam up here. I'm not. I don't consider myself. I do the kubas. I teach classes and stuff like that. But I just shy away from all that because I don't know. This is my experience in prison, and it's not always this way. But most things end in violence, and I'm not there. I'm not going to be involved in any kind of violence, or any kind of as I say, buffoonery. So anything that could possibly put me in a situation where people think that that's, something that I'm going to get involved in, it's just not going to happen. I just, so what I do is I do my best to help brothers out when I can. And that's not the size of it. It's real dangerous, man. Just, trying to constantly, involve yourself in things. And, because ultimately you're dealing with grown men. And, so you have to just, excuse me, you have to weigh things out, and the things don't. When you're looking at them, they don't look like they're going to come out good for the other person. Now, all you can do is tell them, hey, look, this is what I think you should do, right? We're not going to get the entire community involved in this because all it's going to do is cause too many problems for everybody else. This is something that you need to handle on your own. Once you take care of that, and by any you don't even know a person doesn't look until they have a problem. And then they come up there, hey man, somebody did this You know, it's like, wait a minute, you Muslim? You know, like, okay, what do you need us to do? You know, then they want justice. It's like, well, we don't administer justice. We can help you out with this situation, but like, don't think that like we are the go-to for, you know, everybody's problems. Right. And that's another thing you got to watch out for.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It seems like, and a lot of the times you have to watch out for the people that want some type of power. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's like, you know, sometimes it comes when, you know, the people that deserve it aren't always the people that are looking for it. And I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but, you know, like, it's just definitely, you know, because, you know, you have instances where, you know, brothers, you know, want that position because they want to actually have some type of control over what brothers are doing inside, and they have some of the, you know, sometimes they have like that gang mentality too, and it's like, you know, they're taking Islam and forming it into some type of gang to, you know, basically do things that they want within the prison.
That's how it was. Yeah, that's how it was when I got here, man. It was. I mean, you can. I would say 85% was gang. It was just people. You know, the brothers were selling oils. That was part of the little thing. There was all kinds of stuff going on. This was going on. And, you know, it's metamorphosized over the years. But now, like, mashallah, man, honestly, through Tabor, the courses in Tabor, and brothers just really just, like, sitting down and say, hey, man, we are not a gang. This is not something we're putting up with. It's been a 20-some year battle for me, man, in here, just getting to where we are now. The place and telling people like and explaining to the officers like this is not a game, right? And you got to explain to them like, hey, yeah, just because we help somebody out does not mean we're a gang. That's not how that works. If we ain't gonna let a brother starve, we make sure he got something to eat if it's Ramadan or something or something like that. You know, if a brother has a problem with somebody, we will as Muslims get together and say, hey, can we talk to you? You know, not with the old school who was, you know, well, he got a problem with you. Okay, well, let's go do this. You know, like, no, that's not going to happen. We deal with things and people respond in kind. They respect that. And they see you as a peaceful person, man, and they will, and they'll say, hey, no, they don't mess with them, man. No, they peaceful. They don't bother anybody. And that's all there is to it. Yeah.
Yeah, mashallah.
So that's what we strive for. I don't have no time for no nonsense.
Inside and outside, that's what we strive for. Alhamdulillah. We gotta help each other out. Man. We all we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's hard because, you know, I mean, it's in your mind. You know, you want to do things the way things are being done outside of how we do it, but we cannot give in to that idea. We absolutely cannot. We are not who they are. We have the Quran and the Sunnah to guide us into and how we respond to things and how we act and how we do it. So we don't have, and I would dare say luxury, but we don't have the option to be ignorant in how we respond to things. You know, we had this program that I was a part of, and one of the things we kept on the wall on the door leading out every time you went out. It said, how you respond to confrontation says more about your character than what you were originally confronted for. So, you know, it's not about what's going on around you. How do we respond as Muslims, right? How do we respond according to the Quran and the Sunnah? What does the fiqh say about this? What does the scholar say about this? Because ultimately, when we face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He won't ask us where we are. He will ask us how we are as people, you know, as an individual, based on our character. Like, how are you? Because the Prophet was faced with situations. The prophets before him, alayhi salatu wasalam, were faced with situations. And we as individuals, depending on our own particular fortitude, our resilience, and how we see things, and what we can deal with and cope with, you know, how we respond to those things says everything about how our relationship is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, like when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked to that one guy, he said, give me some advice. You know, la talk about it. You know, don't become angry. La talk about it. And he's, he's why he say don't become angry? Anger is a natural emotion, right? But he's saying don't respond in anger. Don't go overboard with your anger to where, it blinds you to what's right in front of you,
right.
And so we have to be mindful of what anger can do to us, man. Anger is pretty much a form of intoxication. It takes away things and it fills your body with oxytocins and gives you the same thing that drugs give you. So,
right.
We just can't be angry people, man. And it's rough because everybody around us responds in anger. Men, we can be anything in the world. We cannot be anything in the world, but the one thing we can be as men, universally accepted, we can be mad.
Right.
And that's something we have to look at as people, for real. That's a whole other thing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Our anger definitely gets us into a lot of situations. Sometimes you have to really be able to try to control your anger and how you adjust to people and how you deal with certain situations, the best, Rasulullah Sallallahu said the best of us is those who know how to control their anger, So we definitely, and we have him as a perfect example of how to, try to do that. And we have remedies, you get angry, sit down, drink water, So
right.
different, and they're just now coming up with that now, where they say, well, take a deep breath and count to 10, and but Rasulullah was telling us, 1,400 years ago, giving us, those advices. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, man. Yeah. I actually got to go.
Well, we were talking to Ahmad Adisa, and we were talking about, some of the dangers of being in prison. He has to go now, so we'll pick this up whether at a later date or we'll have more conversations with him in the future, inshallah. And was there anything else you wanted to add, Aki?
Yeah, bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam. I just kind of like wrapping up what I was mentioning at the last part there, right? Is that no matter where you are, if you're Muslim, Islam is the answer to how you respond. Anger is a major issue in life and with people, specifically men. It's one of those things that we can get away with. And as a Muslim, we need to know that we shouldn't try to get away with it. Anger is usually us responding in kind to someone else's anger, someone else's actions towards us. And we don't have to respond that way, right? If the Prophet ﷺ can be in salat and someone so entrails on him and he gets up and asks, well, what's the problem, right? He's given us an example right there that as long as you are peaceful, as long as you are at rest with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and your life is going well and you are practicing Islam, understand that you don't have the problem. And when somebody comes to you with the problem, with anger or with fussing or whatever they come, you don't have to accept that problem as a gift. And you don't have to respond in kind. But you can be rewarded through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by maintaining your character and being a good Muslim. And whatever is going on with that person, leave that problem with them. Inshallah, you can help them with their problem, but you don't have to take that problem on and then there'd be two angry people. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just give us the wherewithal to watch our anger, not become angry in situations where we don't have to. And any situation that you're faced with, it can make it better. And definitely make your relationship with Allah better.
Alhamdulillah. All right, Akeem, I'll let you go, man. I know you got some stuff to do. I got an appointment I got to get to myself, so.
Okay. All right. Okay, barakallah, ya Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.